so much of, I think a lot of people don't know, so much of Canadian TV is, you know, I don't know, I think there's been more single season series in Canada than probably any other country.
Yeah.
It seems that there's a lot of that happens, but, you know, Dark Matter, and it started that way, and then, you know, it was renewed for a second, it was like, yeah, you know, and then fan outcry, I guess, got the third season going and everything, and still such a strong cult following. You know, you got this really strong fan base to this day.
Absolutely.
And here you guys are. Has it been quite the ride or what?
Yeah, to say the least, man. Like it's been a roller coaster, like, even up and down of just going back and forth with the producers, with them being so hopeful of like this could possibly still go on, and we're still working on that. And we'll see where they go. And they're hopeful. Like Joe Mallari, the showrunner and creator, is super hopeful about it. He's working really hard. He's really obsessed. He's an obsessive person. Once he starts something, he finishes it. And he really wants to give fans what they deserve. And that's the entire storyline of what it is. And no matter how it comes, you know, whether it's a movie or a miniseries, they're hopeful, or he's hopeful about it. And he's out with Vanessa, who produced the first season right now in LA, pitching some new things. Timescape, I'm sure you probably heard it. And,
yep.
And meeting with some people to see what they do with Dark Matter. So, no.
Is that the ultimate goal, you think? Just like a mini series or perhaps a movie to tie up loose ends and kind of finish the story?
I mean, the ultimate goal would always be a complete 5 seasons.
Yeah.
But I think the hopeful goal is to tie up the loose ends, because it ended at a horrible place. Yeah. Where we were about to introduce aliens. 6 is possibly dead, and 2, God knows what's happening with her. And she has a daughter on the way. I spilled beans on a whole lot of people, and no one has any closure, so it can't be mentally healthy for their characters.
Is that on the table? Another couple of seasons? Do you think?
It just depends on the legal
Suits.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, like Alex said, Joe's dream is to definitely finish it. There's a lot of people. I just finished a show with Joe over the wintertime called Utopia Falls, and he's the showrunner on that as well, and he brought me up, which was amazing. But you can tell his heart is still broken by Dark Matter, and he wants to finish it like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it was such a good group of people. Probably 70% of the crew on Utopia Falls behind the scenes was all Dark Matter people, which was great, because it was like you're going to work with a family again. And I always joke that, you know, these guys were main cast. I was like a good close cousin. They treated me like, you know, family that way. I forgot you were on the show. Yeah. That was your group.
Yeah, no, I never got to work with him.
Well, that's true. We did that one scene where I got shot, and you guys all came through when everybody was escaping the prison.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was so nervous that day, because the shot ended up on me being shot. And I was so afraid that I would blow it with the squibs, they call them, that they blow blood out and stuff like that. So I was nervous, and I hardly talked to you. But we did a Comic-Con in London, England last year. Finally, we got to hang out for the first time.
Yeah.
And because I didn't know him, I expected him to be the real, very serious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. You see him every day like that, right? So when I meet him, he's like a crazy nutcase goofball guy. It's really fun. So it was a completely different person than I expected. But yeah, we didn't get to do scenes. No. We need a reunion.
We have really good chemistry, though.
Yeah.
We just had a sword fight, he won.
What does, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I mean, everyone, I think, especially every actor, I think, when they get a genre show, sci-fi or whatever, they often think of this. They think of the conventions, you know, they think of that, because even a unpopular science fiction TV show is really popular to science fiction fans.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And so, and there are endless possibilities, you know? Star Trek came back numerous times and continues to. Veronica Mars, although not science fiction, but I mean, we saw what happened with that, with the rabid fan base or whatever. Was that one of those things when you guys signed on to do the show, that in the back of your mind you were like, sweet, sci-fi has like the most loyal fans, and that's a bonus here? I mean, obviously actors want to take work, but is that like kind of a bonus?
I was just happy to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Matter was my first like regular
Yeah.
series, so I was just happy to work. I had no idea about the sci-fi world until I did my first convention. I think it was Fan Expo, and I was so surprised, like, who are you people? Why are you all dressed up? And I couldn't understand it. And now I never want to leave sci-fi. I'm just like, I tell my agents all the time, get me back into sci-fi. That's where I want to be, because you get that engagement with fans where you get that reward where other series you don't get to ever meet with fans, man. It's really weird now to not go to conventions, or to shoot something and then not go to a convention for it, to answer questions, to meet fans, to say thank you for tuning in and supporting one, the show, but two, me. And
Yeah, but the cast of This Is Us is never going to have this kind of interaction. They're not going to have these conventions and things to go to really meet with people and hear what they love about the characters of the show, right?
Yeah, I agree. And as fortunate as they are, I know Melanie Lieber, who played Nix on season 2, is on This Is Us, and she's getting, to do a whole lot of cool things. But it's not conventions, man. There's nothing like meeting fans, and it's really cool. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I get excited about it.
Jeff, what about you?
Oh, same. I feel fortunate to do them in the first place, because I don't feel like you were a series regular and I was a recurring character. So the fact that
you were on the show.
I told you this back then.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, it was. I feel very, very blessed to be able to do it. The real drag for me was that on the next season coming out, I was becoming a series regular. So it's.
That's what it is. Bittersweet.
Yeah, but I'm very fortunate. I love doing them, and I've done other sci-fi shows too, like some things for 12 Monkeys and stuff, which was another great show to work on. Although again, it was just Dark Matter was more like a family atmosphere to me. When you showed up on set, you felt like you were really part of something, as opposed to, I don't know. Not that say 12 Monkeys was a bad set. It was great. It was different. And a lot of sets you go on too. I mean, you go into some features and you just feel like you're part of the cog, unless you're the big star of the movie. You're just you're one of those big players. Mm-hmm. Walking on set every day with Dark Matter people, it's great. It makes you feel like $100, $100,000, maybe $1 million. I don't know, something like that.
Adjusted for Canadian, that would be like $80,000.
Something like that, right?
Well, I was talking to the Power Ranger guys a little while ago. They were talking about the different places where they go when they do the conventions and everything like that, and they were surprised at how rabid the fan base is in parts of Europe.
Yeah.
Is it like that with you guys, where you go to certain places where you're like, oh my God, here we're like the Beatles, and over here we're like the Monkees, like.
When we did London, there was people from all over Germany and all those places that came over because it was a Dark Matter sort of specific con. Mm-hmm. And again, you're floored. You're meeting these people from all over Europe, Czech Republic,
Italy.
Yeah, they're just all flying in for the reason to come and meet you, and you can't believe it because I'll give Alex more because he was a series regular. But when you got people showing up dressed as you, or like I couldn't get over that, or they bring you cakes and stuff with your picture on it. And it's pretty cool.
You got a cake with your picture on it?
Well, it's my birthday.
Oh yeah.
Well, you also shouldn't sell yourself short there, Jeff, because a lot of times those recurring characters are beloved just as much, if not more, than some regulars. I mean, if you look at Q on Next Generation as an example, I can't off the top of my head think of some others right now, but I mean, there's a lot of times those recurring characters become hugely popular. I mean, even in Star Wars, Boba Fett was never meant to be this iconic character that he is, right?
He was my favorite when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Anders was not meant to become a regular, man. You stole the show as Anders, and fans loved you, and Joe loved you, and kept writing you more and more.
Yeah, I love the others for that. Yeah.
You didn't luck out, though. You did well, man. It would have been nice to have him on set.
Bromance is it?
Yeah, man, that's my road dog.
How many conventions do you guys do a year?
Depends.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got a convention agent, so like now they were starting to come and everybody's been asking like, why don't you? Because I didn't know about convention agents or any of that sort or any of that, but I love them.
It was,
You do a lot.
Well, yeah, I just started to, you know, it was that sort of got me into the idea was Anthony Lemke. I played 3 in that. We were talking about it on set one day. 'Cause Zoe obviously does a lot through the Lost Girl stuff as well, and then with Dark Matter. So yeah, she's so busy now actually on film that I don't think she has time for conventions half the time. She just goes from project to project.
Yeah, we did a Lost Girl panel here last year, and yeah, and had Zoe and several members of the cast. The Power Ranger guys said that their busiest year they did 2 a month for a full year.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That's like a
Would you want to do that?
full-time
Want to do
job.
that much?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It is like a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Would you do 24 in a year?
I'm with Alex, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love getting out and meeting people and talking. You know, that much is as fun as it is. You know, you're hanging around your peers, people you know, and that, so it's always good to catch up. Like, I haven't seen you since we were in LA. We bunked together in LA for a few weeks, I think, spring. You get busy and but yeah.
So, you know, you talk about it being like a family on set, and you guys obviously get along. There's a lot of joking around, everything like that. What's the hard part about filming a show like Dark Matter? What's the hardest part of doing it? You know, you're with your family, your friends, you're having a good time, obviously, and it's great to be working as an actor. But I mean, what's the most grueling part of doing that show?
I know it was for me, but you remember it. Yeah. No, but again, I will say, like, the moves and the fighting sequences that you figured out so fast, it's, because I did watch you rehearse as well, and it's just like he's unbelievable. And Melissa too, actually.
You were watching.
I honestly, well, because you, in that one scene we're talking about, I think I stood in the back with a mat practicing a silly little thing for like hours. And John Stead, who's the fight coordinator, would always say, like, he loved the fact that I tried so hard, but I'm terrible. So I would, you know, I didn't want to be the weak link, so I would be up practicing like crazy, where these guys would, you know, what do I do? Do this, do that? Yeah, okay, got it. And they'd just do it. So, but I don't know if that's hard for you, or?
No, John Stead was an incredible teacher. He does a lot of the strap very clever. Just such a good stunt coordinator. He has a way of teaching and creating choreography where everything flows. So if I'm slicing this way, I'll have someone else coming this way because my momentum's coming that way. So it's easy to remember because it just wouldn't make sense to come this way and then turn around or do whatever. Anyways, the choreography flowed and he made it very simple for me and it made it look really, really cool. And then the stunt performers did it great because they were professional and then had been doing it for such a long time. They make it look like you know what the hell you're doing. Meanwhile, I'm just like, slicing this way, slicing that way. Cool. You got to jump and make it look like I did as well. But the hardest part for me was this. The third season where I was the Emperor, because I was always out here in Kitchener-Waterloo filming the Zyron scenes in the castle. It's actually up the street from here. It's not far. Hacienda Sierra Banquet Hall or something like that. So that's the Zyron castle. And it was being away from the main cast, who was my family. And so, you know, you get renewed for third season. Yes, I get to spend all day with these guys again for the next few months. But then they tell you, oh, you're going to be filming out here and you're hardly going to see them. That was hard, man, just not being with them and shooting so many of the scenes with new faces. Not that the new faces were bad or anything, it's just, that's not my family. And part of the job was enjoying being with these guys all the time.
What was the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me always is, although it's getting better, is getting lines down. I've had a lot of head injuries, which I'm half joking about. I'm assuming that's why it's hard, I don't know. But yeah, it's, you know, sometimes you don't have a lot of time to get the scripts and learn them, especially in the auditioning process. So for me, if I didn't have so much trouble with the lines, I would just love every second of it. I I love being on set. I love when we're actually doing what we're doing. It's magic. But it's that awful anxiety beforehand. Do I have this stuff down? Again, with Utopia Falls, there was some screw-ups with scheduling. And I remember one time they had a 6-page scene with most of me talking. And they gave it to me the night before and said, here you go. I was like, nervous breakdown, by 4 in the morning still trying to get this stuff down. I'm learning now that with film and TV you can make mistakes and just pick it up. I always wanted to be, I wanted to have everything down so I wouldn't be the guy that was interrupting things.
Like you do in theater, right?
Yeah.
In your head, you want to have the entire script memorized front to back and just go out there as if you're doing a live show.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I did. It took a long time for me to start getting better roles. I came out of nowhere. I wasn't really trained, so I was learning as I was going. So I did a lot of these sort of rinky-dink things. And you don't want to be the guy that blows those parts because, you won't be brought back. So I think that always stuck in my head. I have to be rock solid on this.
Do you guys remember the movie Hook?
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams?
Yeah.
They said that, going back to what you were saying, being away from your family, Julia Roberts played Tinkerbell in that movie and hated every minute of it because she didn't act with anybody. The entire Tinkerbell was all done on a green screen away from everybody else. So she never actually got to work with anybody except for, I think, one scene that she got with Robin Williams in just one part, right? So is there also a lot of that when you're working with special effects and things like that, where you essentially, it looks like you're all together, it looks like you're doing more than you are, but you're just kind of by yourself, lonely in front of a green screen?
No, we had a lot of practical. Actually, most of our sets were practical sets.
Yeah.
Right?
And even the green screen stuff, the other actor would usually come in, like the stuff I would do with Roger and that.
Yeah.
I would love them for that, because, I don't know, you've seen it, sometimes the lead in another thing will just sort of disappear and you're talking to a tennis ball. Literally,
literally a tennis ball.
Or, and someone else will just read the lines, but these guys would always be there when I was doing it, so, yeah, they never had that.
I watched a movie, you and I are around the same age probably, and I watched Cannonball Run Part 2 not too long ago. It's part of a bad movie night or whatever, and there's an entire scene with Frank Sinatra, with the cast talking to Frank Sinatra sitting behind a desk, and Sinatra refused to go to the set or do anything, so he filmed his entire scene at a desk somewhere else. One take, and he got paid and he left, and so, but in the movie, it's just the actors talking like this, and it cuts, and there's a stand-in's head. It's not Frank Sinatra.
All the people are one of those guys go, what was it like working with Sinatra? It was great.
Oh, man, I couldn't do that to people.
And they never met him. They just never met him.
No.
I did a show called Designated Survivor with, it was great, with Kiefer Sutherland. He was amazing, like he was a good guy. Although I did see him lose him on somebody on set, because he has a reputation for that, so I did see it. But he was great with me, but yeah, at the last scene, he was inducting an actor named Al Waxman into the Canadian Walk of Fame.
Yep.
So he was like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go. So I did get the ball and one of the ADs read. But it was fine, because he told me ahead of time, he said, I'm so sorry, I gotta go. So he wasn't a jerk about it. But it happened.
Did you catch him at his trailer singing?
Country songs?
Singing country songs?
No.
Yeah.
We talked about
That's what
that
he was
doing makeup,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah, he was really good.
He just finished the tour when we did that episode.
He's good.
Yeah, this guy can sing good country as well.
Do you?
Seriously, he's good. We did karaoke in LA, and no, you banged that off, man.
Karaoke aside, do you have aspirations to sing?
No.
Oh.
I'm a terrible voice, man. I just feel like, listen, I'm Filipino, so I can do one of two things. I can either sing or dance. I can't sing, and I can hardly dance. And it's amazing that I'm even on screen as a Filipino guy. There are no Filipino roles ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So your choice is Dark Matter or singing for Journey?
Yeah. Or singing for Journey, yeah, there you go. Man, yeah, I didn't get singing at all, man. I really wish that you could sing. You know who can sing? Lemke.
That's what I was going to say.
Anthony Lemke is a great singer, man. Yeah, he was belting out Journey.
And he also did Bon Jovi, Living on a Prairie.
I was surprised.
Living on a Prairie.
So this guy and Lemke were in, they had a band, back in the Jesus days, yeah, a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, my first band that was
I've interviewed you before, and I don't know why, I've never been able to find this info.
No, my first band actually was, anybody know Our Lady Peace or like that?
Yeah.
Mike, the guitarist from that band, he was in my band as well. And then Our Lady Peace, when they became Our Lady Peace, used to open up for the other band a lot because we're still good friends. But yeah, actually the first rehearsal spot too, because we were with Jake Gold from Canadian Idol, I guess it was then.
Mhm.
But they put us in a rehearsal spot on Richmond Street in Toronto, and we shared it with Tragically Hip, who were just starting to break big at that point. So yeah, I mean,
Do you want to go back to that at all?
no, not at all. In fact, I'm really happy that it never panned out the way we'd hoped, because it's a weird lifestyle and it's hard in Canada. It's really difficult to make a living. You're on the road a lot. I love my family, my daughter especially, and I can't imagine just taking off for 3, 6, 7 months at a time and Skyping with them. I shoot something, I'm gone for like a week or something. I feel bad. So yeah, I mean, it's just a different kind of world to me. And the thing I love about film and television is you have great relationships. Everybody from the biggest stars I worked with down to whatever, they all are pulling in one direction. You want to make a good product. I think I was telling somebody here earlier that when you're in a band and you're opening up for one of your heroes, you have a good sound check because you want to impress them, because you admire them. Then you find out later that your sound's all screwed up because the band doesn't want you to sound good. And you're thinking, I love these guys. How could they do that first? But that happens. That's the music industry was a very cutthroat kind of place.
And a lot of people don't know the opening act sometimes doesn't even meet that other band.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
I've had friends that were in bands that did well and they got to open for big names and they were so excited about it. And I said, well, what were they like? And they go, I never met them. Or they met them in passing, you know what I mean, like in a hallway, but they didn't get to hang with the other band. They didn't get to be friends like they had hoped or whatever. But, do you both still live in Toronto? You both still live in Toronto?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, it seems that so many of us creative types here in Canada wind up at least half a year in like LA or whatever. Do you guys want to do that as well, or do you do that?
I don't want to do it, no.
No?
No, I have a son, and you got your daughter, and yeah, I'm a family guy, man. I didn't think I ever would be. Young guy, I was all about my dreams and my aspirations, this and that, and then my boy came along, and I was like, nope, this is it. So I just want to be at home with my kid all the damn time. LA is fun. Like, if work takes me there, work takes me there, and if not, I told my agents, like, I don't want to go chasing out in LA. I just feel like that's just such a place of dead dreams, man. And everyone comes to Toronto to shoot anyways. So I'll go and audition in LA and then just come work up here. And that don't have to do with Trump.
Yeah, but having said that, how often do we get to hang out with Ron Jeremy every day?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We were down in LA this spring. Every night I took him to the Rainbow Bar, which is one of the old rock hangouts, and he ended up loving it. But
yeah,
one of the guys who's there every night was Ron Jeremy, and he took a shine to us for some reason. So it's like it was bizarre.
Yeah,
you're out every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a strange cat.
And he's a fanboy. Ron Jeremy's a fanboy. He loves TV and movies, and he loves to talk TV and movies.
Have you interviewed him? Because he's different.
Yes.
He's intelligent.
He is intelligent. Before he was in porn, he was a teacher. He was a high school teacher. He's an intelligent guy, but he's a little different.
When we first met us, he was asking us if we were like Mossad or
No. He was like, he's sitting in this chair. We had come down.
Everyone here knows who Ron Jeremy is. Yes.
Yeah, most people.
He's looking at us. He's looking at us, and he's just like, "You was really?" For me, I'm like, okay, maybe Jeff, but you're looking at me. He's like, "Yeah, are you from the Israeli army?" And we're just like, looking at each other.
Sure, he said Mossad. You guys look like Mossad or something.
Mossad?
No, come sit down. Come sit down. We just sat down. Man, you smell that.
Yeah, that's something interesting. I'm glad. It's funny you say that. I don't say that to a lot of people, but when they talk about Ron Jeremy, I go, you'd be surprised he Yeah, he's got an odor. He's got a smell. So we're not filming this now. Okay.
That's all right. What's he gonna do? Not put me in a porn?
Yeah.
I don't plan to be in one.
Yeah, true.
Good.
It's kind of a funny thing because, my background is stand-up comedy and acting and writing and everything. And I can't stand LA. And everyone seems to go there. Everyone loves it and all. I like to go for 5 days, but I don't want to live there either. And part of it is I'm also that weird guy that loves the seasons and I don't mind the winter or whatever. But then part of me is also just, boy, it's exhausting enough living in this city knowing how many actors and performers there are.
Yeah.
In LA, to see people very, very talented and very, very beautiful parking cars. It's almost like people are like, oh, LA is so beautiful, and I go, and yet I always feel a little depressed
Yeah.
when I go and leave.
I don't know, man. Did you get to do did you do a tour for your shows or anything? Like, did you do
Well, I mean, much like that's the thing is I don't tour anymore. Just like not to make this at all about me, but I understand where you're coming from because as a comedian, it was the only way to make money, right? So when I met my now wife, I was on the road 49 weeks a year, all over North America.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because it's the only way to make money. And then I cut it down to about 40 weeks a year for a while, and now I'm not touring. I'm not touring now for that reason. I have two girls, and it's the same thing. You don't want to be one of the hardest parts about being a creative type, and you guys I'm sure will agree, is you don't want to be an absentee father. You don't want to be an absent father. You don't want to go out and maybe you're happy. You're like, look at all this work I did, but you don't want to come home and go, I miss my kids' childhood. I miss the toddler years.
Absolutely.
I miss, and those years are so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can't, it's probably the best time, and that's where you're gonna bond with them as well.
Totally.
I think I told you, I got a friend who's a SEAL. We dived together in that. He's a great guy to dive with, because you're saved all the time. But he's got a video that he showed me once of him meeting his daughter for the first time, and she was already 2 years old enough, because he had been in Iraq and in Afghanistan,
Yep.
Constantly on missions and stuff like that. I remember Dorinda says, don't know, he'll get used to you soon, or she'll get used to you soon. Imagine like you're looking at your little kid, and the kid doesn't know who you are, but they've been hyped up, so they're trying to act like a kid. It was a bizarre situation.
But at least he can say, I was out there saving the world. I gotta say, well, I was doing punch up on Sharknado.
You were on Sharknado?
No. No, punch up. But I mean, oh yeah, no, but and that is a drawback to what we do, or especially what you guys do, acting, and it can, as luck would have it, we film a lot in Ontario, but it could take you over to, Romania for 6 weeks or 3 months or something like that.
Moscow.
Yeah, you did Moscow.
What'd you do in Moscow?
A terrible series called Insomnia.
I wrote that.
You did a very bad job, buddy. No, it was a fun
Wait,
series.
I've heard of Insomnia. Who is that? Who put that out? No?
Stars purchased the rights to it, I think just to keep it off television.
Really?
Yeah. I think it aired in like Paris or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a fun experience to shoot.
And
And then right after that, Sean Sheepos from Insomnia ended up on Dark Matter. So it was really cool.
What's the best, what's the place that you've gone to work where you love being there? Like, did you love being in Moscow, or was it like?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was tons of fun. I'd say Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver's probably the favorite place to shoot.
Hamilton.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I started doing
I was
Hamilton.
like, what?